Well, great morning, everyone. So, I laid out cards. I was listening to this thing about strangest things happen in New Mexico, and they were talking about Los Alamos, where they did things like the Manhattan Project, and they're still doing a lot of other secretive type things. So I did the short layout. You do the first 3 cards going across, then you pull the underneath cards on the foundation above it and what's crossing. So what's interesting, when you're doing these types of readings, you can ask specific questions on each card. So the first card that came out was the 7 of Swords. Now usually people say it's the theft. They read it as a theft. I don't always read it. I said, is this the takeaway? It said yes. And then I asked, are they trying to get away with things, something, and it said to some degree, yes. You get the one that's going this way. It's not a pure yes. No, it's not pure yes. It's skewed this way. Yes, there are some things, take away, that they are trying to get away with. So I'm going to ask, are they being honest with everybody about what they're doing there? And it's saying no, they're not being honest with everyone with the takeaway of it. Okay, they are not being honest with it. Is some of the information that they're putting out skewed? And it is saying yes. Does the information that they're putting out have any kind of spiritual significance? I'm getting it's going this way. So, not fully, no. Okay, now it could have some. It's not fully negative, but it is, some of it is a bit on the negative. So you can see that where it's going, it is going in the slant. So it's slanted towards the negative. So is there any other information I could glean from this? I could ask about this takeaway. And it's saying yes. So there's more information I could find out about what's going on with the takeaway. Now the next card that came out was the 8 of Cups. Now usually they say that's an emotional distancing. But when I ask, is this about emotional distancing? And it's saying, no, that's not what this is about. Is this about walking a night path? Yes. So it's walking a path that is secretive? Yes. So that's what it's mainly about. It's about something that's very secretive that they don't want to be getting out. Is it something that's negative? Something that could be perceived as negative? It's saying yes, it could be something perceived as negative. Does this have to do with dark things not how do I want to say this? Does this have to do with shadow government things? Could this be in alignment with shadow government? It's saying yes. Is this fully a government agency? It's going not fully. Okay, skewed. It's skewed. So it looks like there are some government things involved with it and then private things with it as well. Is there anything else I could be asking here that I'm not asking? It's saying yes. So there are more things we could discover with this. Moving forward, what's being handed out? Is what's being handed out being given over directly to the government, the fullness of it? It's skewing to some degree and then no. So I would be saying some things are being shared with the government and then no, there are things that are not being given to the government whatsoever. Are they being given fully to shadow government things? Now you give it a little time, to see if it's going to go more than one direction. Is it being fully given to shadow government things? It's saying yes. Yes. So it's saying yes. Some things are sharing with government, some things not at all, and things are being given to shadow government. So are there more things that I could be asking to get answers from here? Skewed towards no. There are some things I could be asking more questions and I'm not going to get fully the answers to them. Okay. Is this being done as a cover-up, energetic cover-up? It is saying yes. As to what's being handed out, the reality of what's being handed out, yes, it's being covered over energetically. So now, the foundation is the star card. I asked if it had anything to do with Trump, and it just went dead, okay? And then it started moving no. Okay. So does Trump have any kind of knowledge about this at all? No. Does this have to do with star being, star power, things to do with cosmos? It is saying yes. Are they working with some star beings? Is Los Alamos working with some star beings? Skewed. Some skewed positivity. Are these star beings ones that are more to the negative element? Are these star beings they're working with of more of a negative element? A little bit. Okay, a little bit. So not fully negative, but to some degree, ones that they're working with there. So then we went above it to the harvest. So we're looking at this. What is the harvest? Are they getting things out of this? And yes. What about the Manhattan Project? A bit skewed to the negative. Okay, not fully negative, but was there something that they calculated wrong when it came to the Manhattan Project? Yes. Are they still working on Manhattan-style projects? To some degree, to the negative. Have they moved forward to something better rather than the Manhattan Project? Have they moved forward to something more positive? It's saying yes, something more positive. Did they give up fully on Manhattan-type projects? Did they give up fully on those types of projects? It's slowing down. See if that's ended. No, it's time going forward. Is this about time going forward? Yes. Is this about spiritual aspects of it? To some degree, no. It's only about a time element. Is this about time travel? Are they looking into time travel, the harvest? Yes, going forward. I'm getting the circular. So this is a time element future about time travel. Interesting, isn't it? So the last thing, what's crossing the darker elements are the choices being made. Okay? So is this about the choices they're making now? Crossing it? Yes. Is this also about choices that have been made in the past? Yes. Are there going to be changes made with these choices that they're engaging in now? Yes, it's starting to skew to some of the negative. Will they make better choices going forward in the future? Will there be better choices made in the future? It's going future time. Future time. Slowing down. Yes. Future time slowing down, yes, is what it's doing. So future time was this way. Slowing down, it started, and then it went here. So it did future time, yes, it was saying clockwise, it's going in a future time. Then it started slowing down to a stop, and then it started moving, yes. Okay. Now, I want to ask, which one do I ask about? The takeaway. The takeaway on this. I'm going to ask in this card the takeaway about, is this after a split of the dimensions? Yes. In the split of this dimension, will this be more towards staying in the third dimension, those people? Skewing towards not so much. Will this be taking place in the fifth dimension, those living in the fifth dimension? It's saying yes. So the takeaway for the fifth dimension, are they going to clue in and stop some of this? Is that the takeaway for that? So the time, yes, going forward, fifth dimension, going forward, stopping, fifth dimension, stopping, seeing the skewed negativity. Okay. So is this going to play out with those that remain in the third dimension mentality, the lower vibration? Is this spiritual? Time going forward, third dimension mentality, skewed to the negative. So the third dimension mentality is skewed to the negative, okay? Fifth dimension looks like it's going to slow down, and they see the fallacy of this, okay? So what's being handed out? Is this going to be changes in the dimensions? Yes. Yes. So on that note, I will leave that here. But that's when you do the smaller layout. Now you could probably do this with the larger layout, what's above it, have more cards, but I don't think you really need it. You can go in and ask specific questions of each one of those, because each one of those cards is a starting point for a, like the takeaways, Seven of Swords, takeaway, what you're trying to get away with, what you're carrying, what you're leaving behind. So many different aspects can be used with that to start questioning. The Eight of Cups, walking a back path through the dark of night, something hidden, something maybe emotionally some people are pulling away from, but it's not always that. If you ask, and then this said, this is not what it's about, emotional distancing. This is something being done by covertly in the dark of night, another path that they're walking, okay? So again, you can see how you can use the cards as a starting point and just really delve into much more depth of information on that. Now, I did one today that was very interesting. It was this woman that was talking about her thing, and she's very deep into Buddhism, Stoicism, etc. And read on her thing, and it was very interesting. We got the cards of the Four of Swords. Now, I was using these star cards, Syrian star deck, and it was these were things she was pondering Yes, pondering spiritually. Spiritually, okay? Spiritual pondering, sitting with things, elevating. And the other one was the nightmare. Again, the things that she saw was taking place. And spiritually, you can ask if it's about spirituality, or you can ask if it's a time going forward. And it will say yes or no as to which it was. So this was pondering the aspects of things happening that carry a nightmare scenario for people. That was the spiritual aspect that she had been pondering with all of this. So very interesting. Again, you can use the cards and ask more in depth as to what is going on with it. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.